Good evening and salutations, my young and restless fans. There's a certain level of Lily being naive that is very difficult to believe. For somebody who prides himself on being smart and business savvy and everything like that, you know, let's just remember the remark that she said about Abby when Devon was like, the only person that he's going to sit there and appoint is somebody who's a Newman. And she was like, oh, well, it can't be Abby. I mean, no offense. I love when people sit there and say that, by the way, when they say no offense, because that's their way of trying not to come across as an asshole. But Devon is not there speaking facts. Okay? He's like, he's not just going to give you a company for no reason. And, you know, Lily seems to think because Neil is her father and Neil was good friends with Victor, that there's no possible way that he's going to screw her over. Plus, she's really skillful and everything like that as far as being business. And Devon is like, it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter how close that he was with Neil. At the end of the day, he's always going to sit there and choose family. That is it. It doesn't matter if you're more skillful than, let's say, Abby. He would choose Abby in a heartbeat over Lily. So he mentions the conversation that they had yesterday about how Nikki is supposed to be getting some sort of mystery surprise gift. And at first she tries to be all like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, why would she come out of retirement and things of that nature? And then Devon mentions, you do realize that she was actually fine and she was running a company and she decided to just magically step down to let Adam take over with no pushback whatsoever. You don't find that strange that she was just so okay with just letting it go for Adam out of all people? And then it starts to click in her head. On top of the fact that Devon was like, did you get anything in writing? No. There you go. There you go. That is business 101. Hell, if you're going to be honest, that's like dealing with anybody in any job, no matter what the job is. I know people used to sit there and go on this gentleman's agreement, this handshake agreement and everything like that, but any smart person, because she thinks she's smarter than the rest, especially Abby, by the way, that she doesn't need anything in writing. That his good faith and the fact that he was Neil's friend is good enough. So, in all reality, nobody, and I mean nobody, should be feeling bad for Lily when she eventually crashes and burns. But she goes to Victor and she's like, okay, I got a couple of questions I gotta ask. And every question that he asks, Victor does not give her a direct answer. Doesn't get anything in writing. He asks straight up, are you gonna assign me to me being CEO again? And he doesn't answer him. And he asks, are you gonna sit there and appoint Nikki? He doesn't give a direct answer. And I don't know if he doesn't do that because he doesn't want to sit there and straight up lie to her face. But not giving an answer and giving another answer is the same thing as lying directly to somebody's face. So at that point, she's like, I'm done. This isn't good enough for me. I'm walking. And for the first time since she started working with Victor, or working for Victor, let's be honest, she decided to have some common sense. And she goes directly to Nikki. Because she's like, you know what, listen, Nikki is not going to lie to me. Nikki is my friend. And when she asked Nikki straight up, is Victor using me? I'll have so much more respect for you if you just tell me the truth. Will you be CEO? And her silence speaks volumes. So she just comes clean at that point. And she's like, listen, yes, we were planning on a takeover. I was hoping that you were still going to sit there and be on board because I value you and this, that, and the third. And she walks. Now, when she left Victor, Victor just had that look where he looked at her, looked back at his business, at his papers, and continued on as usual. You know why? Because he doesn't really need Lily's help to sit there and take over the company. In Victor's mind, Victor's like, you're either going to sit there and hop on board, you're going to hop onto my program, or this program is going to go on without you. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He doesn't need her. He never really, yeah, he could use her, but he doesn't need her. He's taken over much bigger, stronger companies before. So in all reality, you know, you're doing more of yourself a favor by keeping a job, by Victor's good grace. And then Nate comes over, and Nate is not there talking about Lily, and no point. Nate is like, listen, if she's gonna make her choice, let her make her choice. If her choice is gonna be, it's gonna be her. It's gonna be. It is what it is at this point, right? So that happens, and he also talks about a woman named Amy Lewis. And Amy brought him out there, and said that it was more of a way to suss him out. That apparently she dated his dad way back. So maybe we'll sit there and see her. Don't know what it will be about, but hopefully be interesting. Hopefully be more interesting than Mamie. Now, for the old school people that knew who Mamie was and watched her and everything like that, great. For the new people that just kind of started enjoying and stuff like that, she was more than a little than a fart in the wind. She came, she sold her company, she sold her shares off screen. Who knows what will wind up happening behind the scenes? But that happened, right? Now, Chance is not there questioning Daniel. And one of the things, see, the thing about Chance and this whole thing, right, is that he tells Daniel that, that Sharon was not there talking about a fight between you two. But there's a couple of glaring problems. One, a lot of ways Chance is too close to this case. You are questioning a suspect that you dated. No one's not there saying, hey, maybe, you're a little bit too close, you're a little too objective or whatever, because the fact of the matter is, Sharon was the last person that saw her before she died. But yet you're asking more questions, talking about, oh, what kind of fight did you get into? I mean, do you think that she had a lover? You think she was there seeing somebody else? Like, and then he's like, could I sit there and search your place? Did you ask Sharon, could you search her place? Since she was the last person to see her. But no. Why? Because he knew her. He liked her. I don't think he was in love with her, but he had feelings for her. So he's not going to sit there and ask, could I sit there and search your place? But he has no problems in there asking Daniel, could I search your place? So he says no. He says no on the basis of you're not going to rummage through um, her stuff. You're not going to sit there and disrespect her by rummaging through her stuff. But the problem with that is that it's going to make him look more guilty. Now, eventually, he's going to get a search warrant. He's going to find that bloody thing, um, towel, whatever, and then he's going to sit there and arrest Daniel. And you know what they usually sit there and say? The person that's usually the suspect is somebody who is the lover, the husband, the wife, or whatever. So I think the question is how long are we going to get to that before we get to, hey, maybe it was Sharon that did it. Seeing how she was the last person that saw Heather. Um, Jack tells Claire about Victor's history, about the fact that Victor is essentially a bully. He'll do anything to win. And that he's leading Howard down a dark path. That he is the person that's behind Glissade. And Claire shares the fact that, she's seeing a side to Kyle that she doesn't like. And it's reminding her it's a trigger for Jordan. I don't like to say the trigger, but it is for Jordan. Watching other people being miserable, and I don't want to sit there and say getting off on it, but getting excited about it, being happy that somebody else is doing so terrible. And she wants to help. She's also really surprised at Victor because she's like, that's not the person that I saw. That's not the person that I know. But Claire, when Jordan pretty much when Jordan targeted you towards the Newmans, the one thing she said was learn everything about the Newmans as much as possible. Now, there's no Newman more greater, more infamous than Victor Newman. So are you really that surprised given everything that he did? You're researching him and you're still surprised? Really? I thought you knew everything there was to know. A lot of the ugly about them. So why is this a surprise for you? Oh, that's not the loving grandfather that I knew. Really? I mean, that storyline wasn't that long ago. But I gotta sit there and say, it was an intriguing episode. I wonder who Phyllis is there saying to Lucy about, I can tell you some stories about your grandmother. Now, I've been snipping this in for my live streams. I think that Sheila should probably go back to Genoa City because they ain't really doing anything for her and Born the Beautiful. But I feel like there's more to say. That is the gist of the episode. Let me know in the comment section if I missed anything or come to the live stream tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows. General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born the Beautiful, and Young and the Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.